Hey guys, so the EV tax credit has finally passed and everyone is wondering, what does that all mean? And it's very, very confusing legislation. We'll go into that, but I'm going to take this also into a different spin today on this video and show you guys where the good deals are and how to simplify it so that you can understand it and use it in your future purchases on whatever vehicles. So let's jump right into this video. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Talking Mods. I appreciate you guys always. And as you know, as we go through this video, if you like the content, please hit the like button. So I'm just going to jump right into it today. Biden, our president, has signed on August 16th, 2022, the EV tax credit. Now it's the Inflation Reduction Act is what it's actually called. But the EV tax credit has been in talks for quite a while because it was about to end and most companies have finished it all up, particularly Tesla and GM, and actually now Toyota as of within the last week or so. Toyota as well met their number, and if you own one of those vehicles, you wouldn't qualify in 2022 for the $7,500 tax credit. So the talk has been going on about it for quite a while, and it's been approved for $7,500. Now, how you get it and all the requirements, I'm going to go into it. So the number one thing to remember is there's 3 eligibility requirements. The first is the MSRP cap. That means the price that the vehicles are being sold at by the dealership. So the cap, there's a cap there. The next is the buyer income cap, and that's very important because if you make a lot of money, they don't want to give you this tax credit. And the final part, which a lot of people are having a lot of confusion about, is the final assembly provision. So those are the 3 major requirements, and I'll go into each and every one of those. Let's start off with the MSRP cap because I think that's the one that most people really want to know right off the bat. The first one is going to be for SUVs, pickup trucks, and vans. So the MSRP cap is $80,000, exactly $80,000. So if it's $79,999, it would qualify. The second one is going to be for all other vehicles. So your average sedan, light duty passenger vehicles, it's going to be $55,000. So the cap is $55,000. So the Model 3 is a vehicle, if you're thinking about a Tesla, would qualify. The Chevy Bolt would qualify. So there's a lot of different ramifications there. So that's the MSRP cap, keeping it very simple. Now, let's go into your income cap. So the buyer income cap is going to be, if you're a joint filer, it's $300,000 is your cap. If you're head of household, it's $225,000. If you are single, not married, you would be $150,000, so you would qualify. It makes a big difference. Now the next one for these new vehicles is the final assembly provision. So in order to get the $75,000, it's actually split into 2 ways. So $3,750 for the critical minerals and $3,750 for where it was assembled. So 40% of the critical minerals have to be within a North America free trade agreement, so that 60% could be anywhere else in 2023. Again, foreign entities are banned. Russia is banned. They cannot be supplying, they cannot be assembling. So if it's a vehicle, they would not qualify. Again, all of this happens at the beginning of 2024. All vehicles, now, so here's the interesting part. Before, when you got the EV tax credit, it was a tax credit that came onto your, once you filed your taxes, you would get that money after a certain amount of period of time. So now this is the interesting part that has not been talked too much, is the used vehicles section. In the used vehicles, it's a little bit different, but it still has the same following rules. And I'll go into those. So the used vehicles are a little bit different. You can get up to $4,000 is the max, or 30% of the sales price, but whichever is smaller. So if $4,000 is less than 30% of it, then it would go into, so that would be what would be eligible. So $4,000 would be the max you could get. Pretty important right there. So after 2022, after this year, charging is also a credit that you can get for yourself. So if you're installing a charger in your home, you can get money back. So the tax credit will give you 30% off of up to $1,000 per unit of cost of equipment sold. There's also commercial uses, so if they're building a business or it's being used for a fleet of trucks, it's up to 6% or up to 100,000 per unit. So and if it's bidirectional equipment that's being used, those are also eligible. So there's a charger credit that's also available that you may want to look into. So the Inflation Reduction Act has actually added a couple extra areas of savings that people didn't realize. And everyone's just talking about the vehicles, but it's also important because if you're setting up the charger in your home, you can save some money there as well. So there's a cost to it, right? So that's pretty important as well. So what I recommend, and this is kind of the best way to go about it, is to obviously go and check these lists as they get updated. The government one and the Consumer Reports one will probably be getting updated all the time. If it doesn't, we'll put in new links over time for this video so that you can go and check, because manufacturers are making changes. Now here's where it gets interesting. Ford is obviously one of the companies that would qualify they build their stuff in Mexico, which is in the North, America Free Trade Agreement. So that qualifies. Their batteries, I think they're moving everything over to it. And again, the batteries are going to need the requirements of the minerals in 2024 on. So really not an issue in 2023 when it's going to be the best time. The problem is, right now you could probably pick up a Ford F-150 Lightning. It's about MSRP at $41,500, right? So if you pick one up now, you don't have any tax credits available. But if you could, and this is theoretically if you could, I know they're sold out. Now, as I'm saying this video, I understand that Ford has also opened up their website multiple times for additional new orders. So something to consider, because if you want to get it within 2023, which could get interesting, as long as they don't increase their price, that vehicle would come in at $34,000. Now, rumors are that Ford is going to be increasing their price because of the tax credit, which I think is not very nice. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I think they'll also listen to consumers and hear us out. So I think that's important, but there's a good chance of getting a nice price point there. They did announce on the Mustang Mach-E, for example, that in 2023 they are going to be raising the price $4,000, $8,000. So completely negating the tax credit of the $7,500. No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think they should have done that, but we'll see. Then again, costs are going up. Tesla Model 3 Performance, Model 3, the Model 3s should qualify. They'll be under the $55,000. The Model Ys should qualify as well as an SUV. I know that they're looking into that. So the Tesla Model Y. As to the Cybertruck, Elon Musk in the last shareholder meeting said he's going to be increasing the price. They technically, if it was the pre-order price point and it stuck with that price point, would qualify. Rivian, if you're thinking about a Rivian, that's an interesting one because they wouldn't qualify under the new standards. If you bought your Rivian this year in 2022, you definitely would qualify for the $7,500. Now the new tax credit, right? That's where it becomes interesting. Rivian's trying to do some binding contracts in for 2022 I'm not really sure what they're trying to do in order to meet it, but more than likely they won't. So what my suggestion is for all of this is that you check out at the time, you can find some interesting deals. I mentioned, looking like the BMW i4. Plug-ins count. So plug-in hybrids will count. As long as they have a 7 kilowatt, which is really not that much, they also count besides the electric vehicles. So you got a lot of really great options. The new GM Cadillac Lyriq SUV will qualify. It'll be under the $80,000. So you'll be able to find really good deals. And that's my point of why I'm mentioning certain vehicles, is so that you can find good deals for yourself. And hopefully the manufacturers don't change it. But obviously at the beginning of the year, it might be a time to jump right on it before they change prices. But again, it's going to be about at the time of sale when you place that order and getting the best deal. Guys, tell me what you guys think. Feel free to post your comments below. We try to respond. And guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.